sketched an early spiritual history of man, and led up to the formation of the new Ummah of Islam. Surah 7 through 16 formed another series of dealing with the formation of the new Ummah and its consolidation, and God's dealing with man taken as the Ummah and considered in its social relations and organized communities. We now come to a fresh series, which may be considered in three parts. Surah 17 through 21 begin with the allusion of the Miraj, which we'll explain more later, and proceed to the spiritual history as touching individuals rather than nations. The old prophets and stories of the past are now referred to from this point of view. Surah 17 through 25 refer to the Hajj, worship and prayer, chastity and privacy, and etc., as related to the man's individual spiritual growth. Surah 16 through 29 go back to the old prophets and stories of the past, as illustrating the growth of individual soul and its reaction against the lives of the communities and the reaction of the communities to the lives of its great individual souls. Let's now consider Surah 17 by itself. It opens with a mystic vision of the ascension of the Holy Prophet. He transported from the sacred Mosque of Mecca. Sacred Mosque of Mecca to the farthest of Jerusalem. In the night shone in the signs of God. The majority of the commentators take the night journey literally, but allow that there were occasions of the spiritual journey or vision. Excuse me for one moment. Apologies. Of the signs of God. The majority of the commentators take the night journey literally, but allow that there were other occasions in which the spiritual journey or vision occurred. Even on most of the supposition of a miraculous bodily journey, it is conceded that the body was almost transformed in a spiritual fineness. The Hadith literature gives detail of this journey, and its study helps to elucidate its mystic meaning. The Holy Prophet was first transported to seat of the earlier revelations of Jerusalem, and then taken through the seven heavens, even the sublime throne, and initiated into the spiritual mystery of the human soul struggling in space and time. The Spaniard Miguel S., an Arabic professor of the University of Madrid, has shown that this Miraj literature had a great influence of medieval literature in Europe, and especially on the great Italian poem Divine Comedy or drama of Dante, which towers like the landmark of medieval European literature. The reference to this great mystic story of the Miraj is a fitting prelude to the journey of the human soul in which the spiritual growth in life. The first steps in such growth must be through moral conduct, the reciprocal rights of parents and children, kindness to our fellow men, courage and firmness in the hour of danger, a sense of personal responsibility, and a sense of God's presence through prayer and praise. The Miraj is usually dated at the 27th of month of Rajab. Through the other dates, 17th of Rajab, Rabi'ah first is also given, in the year before the Hijrah. This fixes the date of the opening verse of the surah. Through portions of the surah may have been a little earlier. The spiritual experience of men of God are given in order that God's signs may be clear to men. Man is misled into evil and must be guided in the sense of personal responsibility. Our service to God is shown that also in our human relations, goodness to parents and kinsmen and strangers in want, as well as kindness to children, purity in sex relations, justice and respect for human life, protection of orphans, probity in all dealings, and avoiding of arrogance. God's glory is above all comparison, and the reception of his revelation marks off the man of faith from those who do not believe. But the believers should speak fair and avoid dissension. For God doth encompass all men. Pride caused the fall of Iblis, but the children of Adam have been raised in excellence above other creation. They will be judged by their deeds. Prayer is good at stated times and at night, and the Qur'an is offered as healing and mercy. Inspiration of the Qur'an is a sign of God's grace. Men should accept it without making carping excuses. Be humble in prayer and praise. It is the privilege of men of God. It is the privilege of the men of God to see the sublimest mysteries of the spiritual world and instruct men. In righteousness they warn and shield men against evil. But nothing can lessen each soul's personal responsibility for its own deeds. It carries its fate round its own neck. God's gifts are for all, but not all receive the same gift, nor are all gifts of equal dignity or excellence. We start Surah 17 with in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Glory to Allah, who did take his servant for a journey by night, from the sacred mosque to the farthest mosque, whose precedent we did bless in order that we might show him some of our signs, for he is the one who heareth and seeth. And we gave Moses the book, and made it a guide to the children of Israel, commanding, take not other than me as disposers of your affairs. O you that sprung from those whom we carried in the ark with Noah, verily was he a devotee most grateful. And we gave clear warnings to the children of Israel in the book that twice would they do mischief on the earth and be elated with mighty arrogance, and twice they would be punished. When the first of the warning came to pass, we sent against you our servants given to a terrible warfare. They entered the very inmost parts of your home, and it was a warning completely fulfilled. Then did we grant you the return as against them. We gave you increase in resource and sons, and made you the more numerous in manpower. If ye did well for yourselves, and if ye did evil against yourselves. So when the second of the warning came to pass, we permitted your enemies to disfigure your faces, and they entered your temple as they had entered it before, and to visit the destruction all that fell into their power. It may be that your Lord may yet show mercy unto you, but if ye revert to your sins, we shall revert to our punishment. And we have made hell a prison for those who have rejected faith. For those who are coming in, we're at Ayah 9, Surah Al-Isra. Verily this Qur'an doth guide to that which is the most or stable, and giveth the glad tidings to the believers who work deeds of righteousness, that they shall have a magnificent reward. And to those who believe not in the hereafter, that we have prepared for them a penalty grievous indeed. The prayer that man should make for good, he maketh for evil, for man is given to hasty deeds. We have made the night and day as two. Of our signs, the sign of the night we have obscured, while the sign of the day we have made to enlighten you, that ye may seek bounty from your Lord, and that ye may know the number and count of the years. All things we have explained in detail. Every man's fate we have hastened. On his own neck on the day of judgment we shall bring out for him a scroll which he will spread open. It will be said to him, read thine own record. Sufficient is the soul this day to make out an account against thee. Who receiveth guidance receiveth it for his own benefit. Who goeth away doth so to his own loss. No bearer of burdens can be bare of the burden of another, nor would we visit with our wrath until we had sent an apostle to give warning. When we decide to destroy a population, we first send a definite order to those among them who are given the good things of this life, and yet transgress, so that the world is proved true against them. Then it is we destroy them utterly. How many generations have we destroyed after Noah? And enough is thy Lord to note and see the sins of his servants. If any do wish for the transitory things on this life, we readily grant them such things as we will, to such persons as we will. In the end we have provided hell for them. They will burn therein, disgraced and rejected. Those who wish for things of the hereafter, and strive therefore, with all due striving, and have faith, they are the ones whose striving is acceptable to Allah. Of the bounties of thy Lord we bestow freely on all. These are as well as those. The bounties of thy Lord are not closed to anyone. See how we have bestowed more on some other than others, but verily the hereafter is more in rank and gradation, and more in excellence. Take not with Allah another object of worship, or thou man will it sit in disgrace and destitute. Comment 129, to be worthy of the servant of the one true God, one must love and serve his creatures. The parents who cherished us in childhood deserves our humble reverence and service. Next come the rights of kinsmen, those in want and wayfaring strangers, to each according to his need, and not spend thrift show. And gentleness is needed to those whom we cannot help. God will provide. He has made life sacred and pure. Fulfill your trusts for orphans and deal with all in strictness probity. Pry not into evil from curiosity, and shun insolence, for God hates evil, the one, the good, the universal Lord. Ayah 23. The Lord hath decreed that ye worship none but him, and that ye be kind to parents, whether one or both of them attain old age and die life. Say not to them a word of contempt, nor repel them, but address them in terms of honor. And out of kindness lower to them the wing of humility, and say, My Lord, bestow on them thy mercy, even as they cherished me in childhood. Your Lord knoweth best in what is in your hearts. If ye do deeds of righteousness, verily he is most forgiving to those who turn again and again in true penitence. And render to the kindred their due rights, as also to those in want, and to the wayfarer, but squander not your wealth in the manner of spendthrift. Verily, spendthrifts are brothers of the evil ones, and the evil one is to his Lord himself ungrateful. And even to thou hast to turn away from them in purity of mercy from thy Lord, which thou dost expect. Ye speak to them a word of easy kindness. Make not thy hand tied like a niggard's to thy neck, nor stretch its forth to its utmost reach, so that thou become blameworthy and destitute. Ayah 30. Verily thy Lord doth provide sustenance in the abundance, from whom he pleaseth, and he provideth in just measure, for he doth know and regards all his servants. Kill not your children for fear of want. We shall provide sustenance for them as well as for you. Verily the killing of them is a great sin. Nor come nigh to adultery, for it is a shameful deed, and an evil opening the road to other evils. Nor take life which Allah has made sacred, except for just cause. And if anyone is slain wrongfully, we have given his heir authority. But let him not exceed bounties in the matter of taking life, for he is helped by the law. Come not nigh to the orphan's property, except to improve it, until he attains the age of full strength, and fulfill every engagement, for every engagement will be inquired on the day of reckoning. Give full measure when ye measure, and weigh with a balance that is straight. That is the most fitting and the most advantageous and the final determination. And pursue not that which thou hast no knowledge, for every act of hearing or of seeing or of feeling in the heart will be inquired on the day of reckoning. Nor walk on the earth with insolence, for thou canst not render the earth asunder, nor reach the mountain in height. Of all such things, the evil is hateful in the sight of thy Lord. These are among the precepts of wisdom which thy Lord has revealed to thee. Take not with Allah another object of worship, lest thou shouldest be thrown into hell, blameworthy and rejected. Then your Lord, O pagans, preferred from you sons, and taken from himself daughters among the angels. Truly ye utter a most dreadful saying. Comments 130. There is none like unto God. Exalted beyond measure is he. All creation declare his glory. His revelation is truth, but beyond comprehension to those who believe not in the hereafter. Those who serve him should be aware lest words unseemly should escape them, whether to friend or foe. Avoid dissensions, and know that God's wrath, when kindled, is a terrible thing. But we rejoice that he forbears and forgives. We have explained things in various ways in the Qur'an in order that we may receive an admonition, but it only increases their flight from the truth. Say, if there had been other gods with him, as they say, behold, they would certainly have sought out a way to the Lord of the throne. Glory to him, he is high above all that they say, exalted and great beyond measure. The seven heavens and the earth and all beings therein declare his glory. There is not a thing but celebrates his praise, and yet ye understands not how they declare his glory. Verily, he is oft forbearing, most forgiving. When thou dost recite the Qur'an, we put between thee and those who believe in the hereafter a veil invisible, and we put coverings over their heart and minds, lest they should understand the Qur'an, and deafness into their ears. When they dost commemorate thy Lord and him alone, and in the Qur'an they turn on their backs, fleeing from the truth. We know best why it is they listen. When they listen to thee, and when they meet in private conference, behold, the wicked says, ye follow none other than a man bewitched. See what similes they strike for thee, but they have gone astray, and never can they find a way. They say, what, when we are reduced to bone and dust, should we really be raised up to a new creation? Say, nay, be you stones or iron, or created matter, which in your minds is hardest to be raised up, yet shall ye be raised up. Then will they say, who will cause us to return? Say, he who created you first. Then they will wag their heads towards thee and say, when will that be? Say, maybe it will be quite soon. It will be on a day when he will call you, and you will answer his call with words of praise, and you will think that you tarried but a little. Say to my servants that they should only say those things that are best. For Satan doth sow dissension among them. For Satan is to man an avowed enemy. It is your Lord that knoweth you best. If he pleases, he granteth you mercy, or if he pleases, punishment. We have not sent thee to be a disposer of their affairs for them. And it is your Lord that knoweth best all beings that are in the heavens and on earth. We did bestow of some of the prophets more and other gifts than others, and we gave to David the gift of the Psalms. Say, call on those besides him whom you fancy. They have neither the power to remove your troubles from you nor to change them. Those whom they call upon do desire for themselves means of access to their Lord, even those who are the nearest. They hope for his mercy and fear his wrath. For the wrath of thy Lord is something to take heed of. There is not a population, but we shall destroy it before the day of judgment, or punishment with it, a dreadful penalty. That is written in the eternal record. And we refrained from sending the signs, only because the men of former generations treated them as false. We sent the she-camel to Thamud to open their eyes, but they treated her wrongfully. We only send the signs by the way of terror and warning from evil. Behold, we have thee, that thy Lord doth encompass mankind round about. We granted the vision which we showed thee, but as a trial for men, as also the cursed tree mentioned in the Qur'an, we put terror and warning into them, but it only increases them in inordinate transgression. Comment 131. Arrogance, jealousy, spite, and hatred were the causes of the fall of Iblis. Man were given preeminence above much of God's creations and owes higher responsibilities. We should give thanks for God's mercy and remember the day of account. Not all the scheming of evil will deflect God's righteous plan to protect his chosen ones. They should pray without ceasing and seek his true guidance, for truth will last, but falsehood will perish. Ayah 61. Behold, we said to the angels, bow down unto Adam. They bowed down except Iblis. He said, shall I bow down to whom thou didst create from clay? He said, seest thou, this is the one whom thou hast honored above me. If thou wilt but respite me on the day of judgment, I will surely bring his descendants under my sway, all but a few. Allah said, go thy way. If any of them follow thee, verily hell will be the recompense of you all, an ample recompense. Lead to destruction those whom thou canst among them. With thy seductive voice, make assaults on them. With thy cavalry and thy infantry, mutually share with them the wealth and children, and make promises to them. But Shaitan promises them nothing but deceit. As for my servant, no authority shall thou have over them. Enough is thy Lord for disposer of affairs. Your Lord is he that makes the ship go smoothly for you through the sea, in order that ye may seek his bounty. For he is unto you most merciful. When distress seizes you at sea, those that call upon besides himself leave you in the lurch. But when he brings you back safe to land, ye turn away from him. Most ungrateful is man. Do ye then feel secure that he will not cause you to be swallowed up beneath the earth, when ye are on land, or that he will not send against you a violent tornado with showers of stones, so that ye shall find no one to carry out your affairs for you? Or do ye feel secure that he will not send you back a second time to sea, and send against you a heavy gale to drown you because of your ingratitude, so that ye find no helper therein against us? We have honored the sons of Adam, provided them with a transport on land and sea, given them for sustenance things good and pure, and conferred on them special favors above a great part of our creation. One day we shall call together all human beings with their respective imams. Those who are given the record in their right hand will read it with pleasure, and they will not be dealt with unjustly in the least. But those who are blind in this world will be blind in the hereafter, and most astray from the path. And their purpose was to tempt thee away from that which we had revealed unto thee, to substitute in our name something quite different. In that case, behold, they would certainly have made thee their friend. And had we not given thee strength, thou wouldst nearly have inclined to them a little. In the case, we should have made thee taste an equal portion of punishment in this life, and an equal portion in death. And moreover, thou wouldst have found none to help thee against us. Their purpose was to scare thee off the land, in order to expel thee. But in that case, they would not have stayed therein after thee, except for a little. This is our way with the apostles we send before thee. Thou wilt find no change in our ways. Establish regular prayers at the sun's decline, till the darkness of the night, and the morning prayer, and reading for the prayer, and reading in the morning carry their testimony. And pray in small watches of the morning. It would be an additional prayer of spiritual profit for thee. Soon will thy Lord raise thee to a station of praise and glory. Say, of my Lord, O my Lord, let my entry be by the gate of truth and honor, and likewise my exit by the gate of truth and honor, and grant me from thy presence an authority to aid me. And say, truth has now arrived, and falsehood perished, for falsehood is by its nature bound to perish. We send down stage by stage in the Qur'an that which is a healing and a mercy to those who believe. To the unjust it causes nothing but loss after loss. Yet when we bestow our favors on man, he turns away and becomes remote on his side instead of coming to us. And when evil seizes him, he gives himself up to despair. Say, Everyone acts according to his own disposition, but your Lord knows best who is best guided on the way. Comment 132. Who can define the spirit of inspiration? Its gift is the highest of God's mercies to man. The Qur'an is divine, and no carpings can affect its greatness or the greatness of the messenger who brought it to men. Those who reject it will be called to account on the day of judgment. Let not pride and ignorance rush like Pharaoh to the punishment of the hereafter. The Qur'an, as revealed by stages, teaches the truth. Learn it and chant it and praise the beautiful names of God forever. Ayah 85. They seek thee concerning the spirit of inspiration. Say, the Spirit cometh by command of my Lord. Of knowledge it is only a little that is communicated to you, O man. If it were our will, we could take away that which we have sent thee by inspiration. Then would thou found none to plead thy affair in that a matter is as against us, except for mercy from thy Lord. For his bounty is to thee indeed great. Say, if the whole of mankind and jinns were to gather together to produce the like of this Qur'an, they could not produce the like thereof, even if they backed up each other with the help and support. And we have explained to man in this Qur'an every kind of similitude, yet the greater part of men refuse to receive it except with ingratitude. They say, we shall not believe in thee until thou causes a spring to gush forth for us from the earth, or until thou have a garden of date trees and vines, and causes river to gush forth in the midst, carrying abundant water, or thou causes the sky to fall into pieces, as thou sayest will happen against us, or thou bring Allah and the angels before us face to face, or thou have a house adorned with gold, or thou mount a ladder right into the skies. No, we shall not even believe in thy mounting until thou send to us a book that we could read. Say, glory to my Lord. Am I aught but a man, an apostle? What kept men back from belief when guidance came to them was nothing but this. They said, has Allah sent a man like us to be his apostle? Say, if there were settled on earth angels walking about in peace and quiet, we should certainly have sent them down from the heavens an angel for apostle. Say, enough is Allah for a witness between me and you, for he is well acquainted with his servants, and he sees all things. It is he whom Allah guides. That is on true guidance. But he whom he leads astray, for such wilt thou find no protector besides him. On the day of judgment we shall gather them together, prone on their faces, blind, dumb, and deaf. Their abode will be hell. Every time it shows abatement, we shall increase for them the fierceness of the fire. That is their recompense, because they rejected our signs, and said, when we are reduced to bones and broken dust, should we really be raised up to be a new creation? See they not that Allah, who created the heavens and the earth, has power to create the like of them anew? Only he has decreed a term appointed, for which there is no doubt, but the unjust refuse to receive it except with ingratitude. Say, if he had control of the treasures of the mercy of my Lord, behold, we would keep them back for fear of spending them, for man is ever niggardly. To Moses we did give 9 clear signs. Ask the children of Israel when he came to them. Pharaoh said to them, O Moses, I consider thee indeed to have been worked upon sorcery. Moses said, Thou knowest well that these things have been sent down by none but the Lord of the heavens and the earth as eye-opening evidence, and I consider thee indeed, O Pharaoh, to be one doomed to destruction. So he resolved to remove them from the face of the earth, But we did drown him, and all who were with him. And we sent thereafter to the children of Israel dwell securely in the land of promise. But when the second of the warnings came to pass, we gathered you together in mingled crowd. We sent down the Qur'an in truth, and in truth has it descended. And we sent thee but to give glad tidings and to warn sinners. It is a Qur'an which we have divided into parts for a time to time, in order that thou mightest recite to it men at intervals. We have revealed it by stages. Say, whether ye believe in it or not, it is the truth. It is true that those who are given knowledge beforehand, when it is recited to them, fall down on their faces in humble prostration, and say, glory to our Lord. Truly has the promise of our Lord been fulfilled. Next is sajda. They fall down on their faces in tears and increases their earnest humility. This is sajda. Ayah 110. Say, call upon Allah or call upon Rahman. But whatever name ye call upon him, it is well. For to him belongs the most beautiful names. Neither speak thy prayer aloud, nor speak it in a low tone, but seek a middle course between. Say, praise be to Allah, who begets no son, and has no partner in his dominion, nor needs he any to protect him from humiliation. Yea, magnify him, and for his greatness and glory. This surah, the new surah, Surah Al-Kahf. Introduction to Surah Al-Kahf. It has been explained in the introduction.
No. It's just the 133. We never finished the time. You read that whole thing. 133. Introduction. Okay?
Comment 133 then. The book of Revelation gives straight direction to make our lives straight, to warn us against evil and guide us to the good everlasting. Teach the truth, but fret not about men rejecting it. The parable of the companions of the cave shows how God works wonders beyond our fathom, how faith is a sure refuge in ways we know not, how time itself works God's plan before we know how it passes, how He can give us rest and raise us back to life against all odds, and how futile it is to engage in controversies about matter we know not. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, who hath sent down His servant the book and hath allowed therein no crookedness. He has made it straight and clear in order that He may warn the godless from a terrible punishment from Him, and that He may give glad tidings to the believers who work righteous deed, that they shall have a goodly reward, wherein they shall remain forever. Further, that He may warn those who say, Allah has begotten a son. No knowledge have they of such a thing, nor have their fathers. It is a grievous thing that issues from their mouths as a saying. What they say is nothing but falsehood. Thou wouldest only perchance fret thyself to death, following after them in grief, if they believe not in the message. That which is on earth we have made but as a glittering show for the earth, in order that we may test them as to which of them are best in conduct. Verily, what is on earth we shall make it but dust and dry soil without growing or herbage. Or dost thou reflect the companions of the cave, and the inscriptions were wonders among their signs? Behold, the youth betook themselves to the cave. They said, Our Lord, bestow on us mercy from thyself, and dispose from our affairs for us in the right way. Then we drew a veil over their ears for a number of years in the cave, so they heard not. Then we roused them in order to test them which of the two parties was best at calculating the term of years they had tarried. We relate to thee their story in truth. They were youths who believed in their Lord, and we advanced them in guidance. We gave strength to their hearts. Behold, they stood up and said, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Never shall we call upon any God other than him. If we did, we should indeed have uttered enormity. These are people have taken for worships gods other than him. Why do they not bring forward authority clear and convincing for what they do? Who doth more wrong than such an invent of falsehood against God? When ye turn away from them and the things they worship other than Allah, betake yourselves to the cave. Your Lord will shower his mercy on you and dispose of your affair toward comfort and ease. Thou wouldest have seen the sun when it rose declining to the right from the cave, and when it set turning away from them to the left, while they lay in open space in the midst of the cave. Such are among the signs of Allah. He whom Allah guides is the rightly guided, but he whom leads astray, for him wilt thou find no protector to lead him to the right way. Thou wouldest have deemed them awake while they were asleep, and we turned them on the right and to their left, and their dog stretched his forelegs on the threshold. If thou hadst come up to them, thou wouldest have certainly turned back from them in flight, and would have certainly have been filled with terror of them. Such being their state, we raised them up from asleep, that they might question each other. Said one of them, How long have ye stayed here? They said, We have stayed perhaps a day or part of a day. At length they all said, Allah alone knows best how long ye have stayed here. Now send ye then one of you with this money of yours to the town, and let him find out which is the best food to be had, and bring some to you, that ye may satisfy hunger herewith. And let him behave with care and courtesy, and let him not inform anyone about you. For if they should come upon you, they would stone you, or force you to return to their cult. And in that case ye would never attain prosperity. Thus did we make their case known to the people, that they might know that the promise of Allah is true, and that there can be no doubt about the hour of judgment. Behold, they dispute among themselves as to their affairs. Some said, Construct a building over them. Their Lord knows best about them. Those who prevailed the matter over their affairs said, Let us surely build a place of worship over them. Some say there were 3, the dog being the 4th. Some say 5, the dog being the 6th, doubtly guessing at the unseen. Yet others say that there are 7, and the dog being the 8th. Say thou, My Lord knoweth best their numbers. It is but few that know their real case. Enter not, therefore, into controversies concerning them, except on a matter that is clear, nor consult any of them about the affair of the sleepers. Commentary 134. True knowledge is with God alone. We are not to dispute on matters of conjecture, but to rely on truth that comes from God. As in the parable that the man who piles up wealth and is puffed up with this worldly goods, despising those otherwise endowed, will come to an evil end, for his hopes were not built on God. Nor say anything, I shall be sure to do so and so tomorrow, without adding, so please Allah, and call thy Lord to mind when thou forgettest, and say, I hope that my Lord will guide me ever closer, even then this to the right road. So they stayed in the cave for 300 years, and some added 9 more. Say, Allah knows best how long they stayed. With him is knowledge of the secrets of the heavens and the earth, how clearly and how he sees and how finely he hears everything. They have no protector other than him, nor does he share his command with any person whatsoever. And recite and teach what has been revealed to thee of the book of thy Lord. None can change his word, and none will thou found as a refuge other than him. And keep thy soul content with those who call on the Lord morning and evening, seeking his face, and let not thine eyes pass beyond them, seeking the popping glitter of this life, nor obey any of whose heart we have permitted to neglect the remembrance of us. One who follows his own desire and whose case has gone beyond all bounds. Say, the truth is from your Lord. Let him who will believe, and let him who will reject. For the wrongdoers we have prepared a fire whose smoke and flames like a wall and roof of tent will hem them in. If they implore relief, they will be granted water like melted brass that will scald their faces. How dreadful the drink, how uncomfortable a couch to recline on. As to those who believe and work righteousness, verily we shall not suffer to perish the reward of anyone who does a single righteous deed. For them will be gardens of eternity. Beneath them the rivers will flow, they will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and they will wear green garments of fine silk and heavy brocade. They will recline therein on raised thrones. How good the recompense, how beautiful a couch to recline on. Set forth to them the parable of two men. For one of them we provided 2 gardens of grapevines and surrounded them with date palms. In between the 2 we placed the cornfields. Each of those gardens brought forth its produce. And failed not in the least therein. In the midst of them we caused a river to flow. Abundant was the produce. This man had, he said to his companion in the course of a mutual argument, more wealth have I than you, and more honor and power in my following of men. He went to his garden in a state of mind unjust to his soul. He said, I deem not that this will ever perish, nor do I deem that the hour of judgment will ever come. Even if I am brought back to my Lord, I shall surely find therein something better in exchange. His companion said to him in the course of the argument with him, Dost thou deny him who created thee out of dust, then out of a sperm drop, then fashioned thee into a man? But I think for my part that he is God, my Lord, and none shall I associate with my Lord. Why didst thou not, as thou wentest into thy garden, say, Allah's will be done? There is no power but with Allah. If thou dost see me less than thee in wealth and sons, it may be that my Lord will give me something better than my garden, and that he will send on thy garden thunderbolts by the way of reckoning from heaven, making but slippery sand. Or the water of the garden will run off underground, so that thou wilt never be able to find it. So his fruits and enjoyment were encompassed with ruin, and he remained twisting and turning his hands over what he had spent on his property, which had now tumbled into pieces. It is the very foundations he could have to its very foundations, and he could only say, Woe to me! Would I had never ascribed partners to my Lord and cherisher, nor had he numbers to help him against Allah, nor was he able to deliver himself. There, the only protection comes from Allah, the true one. He is the best to reward and the best to give success. Commentary 135. The life of this world is ephemeral, and its gains will not last. Good deeds are the best of possessions in God's sight. All will be leveled up on the day of judgment, and a new order created on the basis of truth according to the book of deeds. Pride is the root of evil, rebellion, and wrong. Who will choose evil ones in preference of God? Let us accept truth, for though falsehood may flourish for a time, it must perish in the end. Set forth to them the similitudes of the life of this world. It is like the rain which we send down the skies. The earth's vegetation absorbs it, but soon it becomes dry stubble, which the winds do scatter. It is only Allah who prevails over all things. Wealth and sons are allurements of the life of this world, but the things that endure good deeds are best in the sight of thy Lord, as rewards and best as foundation for hopes. On one day we shall remove the mountains, and thou wilt see the earth as a level stretch, and we shall gather them all together, nor shall we leave out any one of them. And they will be marshaled before thy Lord in ranks, with the announcement, Now have ye come to us bare as we have created you. First I. We thought we shall now fulfill the appointment made to you to meet us. And the book of deeds will be placed before you, and thou wilt see the sinful in great terror because of what is recorded. Therein they will say, woe to us! What a book is this! It leaves out nothing small or great, but takes account thereof. They will find all that they did placed before them, and not one will thy Lord treat with injustice. Behold, we said to the angels, bow down to Adam. They bowed down, except Iblis. He was of one of the jinns. He broke the command of his Lord. Will ye then take him and his progeny and his protectors rather than me? And they are enemies to you. Evil would be the exchange for the wrongdoers. I call them not to witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, nor even their own creation. Nor is it for me to take as help. Shall see the fire and apprehend that they have to fall therein. No means will they find to turn away therefrom. We have explained in detail in this Qur'an for the benefit of mankind every kind of similitude, but man is in most things contentious. And what is there to keep back men from believing now that guidance has come to them, nor from praying for forgiveness from their Lord, but that they ask the ways of the ancients be repeated with them, or the wrath be brought to them face to face? We only send the apostles to give glad tidings and to give warnings. But the unbelievers dispute with vain argument in order therewith to weaken the truth. And they treat my signs as just, as also the fact that they had warned. And who doth more wrong than the one who is reminded of the signs of his Lord, but turns away from them, forgetting the deeds which his hands have sent forth? Verily have sent veils over their hearts, lest they should understand this, and over their hearts deafness. If thou callest them to guidance, even then will they never accept guidance. But your Lord is most forgiving, full of mercy. If he were to call them at once to account for what they have earned, then surely he would have hastened their punishment. But they have appointed time, beyond which they will find no refuge. Such were the populations destroyed when they committed iniquities, but we fixed an appointed time for their destruction. Commentary 136. Moses was up against mysteries which he wanted to explore. He searched out a man endued with knowledge derived from the divine springs from which flow the paradoxes of life. He has shown 3 such paradoxes, and how human impatience is inconsistent with their true understanding. The highest knowledge comes not except by divine gift, and constant patience and striving with faith to apprehend something of the purpose of the all-wise God. Behold, Moses said to his attendant, I will not give up until I reach the junction of 2 seas, or until I spend years and years in travel. But when they reached the junction, they forgot about their fish, which took its course through the sea, straight as a tunnel. When they had passed on some distance, Moses said to his attendant, bring us our early meal. Truly we have suffered much fatigue at this stage of our journey. He replied, sawest thou what happened when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot about the fish. None but Shaitan made me forget to tell you about it. It took its course through the sea in a marvelous way. Moses said, that was what we were seeking after. So they went back on their footsteps, following the path they had come. So they found one of our servants, of whom we had bestowed mercy from ourselves, and whom we had taught knowledge from our own presence. Moses said to him, may I follow thee on the footsteps, that thou teach me something of the higher truth, which thou hast been taught? The other said, verily thou wilt not be able to have patience with me. And how canst thou have patience about things about which their understanding is not complete? Moses said, thou wilt find me, if Allah so will, truly patient, nor shall I disobey thee in aught. The other said, if then thou wouldest follow me, ask me no questions about anything until myself speak to thee concerning it. So they both proceeded, until when they were in a boat, he scuttled it. Said Moses, hast thou scuttled it in order to drown those in it? Truly a strange thing hast thou done. He answered, did I not tell thee that thou cannot have patience with me? Moses says, rebuke me not for forgiving forgetting, nor grieve me by raising difficulties in my case. Then they proceeded, until when they met a young man, he slew them. Moses said, Hast thou slain an innocent person who has slain none? Truly a foul unheard of thing hast thou done. And that's it. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Jazakallah khair. That's the end of chapter Juz 15. The adhan should be called right now. Let's break. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asr. إن الإنسان لفي خسر إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم.